friends are like old memories. They always remind you of your past, and we are reminding ourselves of the past episodes from this week of Good Company for the best of Good Company with me, Hollie Taylor. It's Hollie Taylor, and how often have you called someone you were so stressed, so frustrated, so whatever, and by the end of that conversation, you feel calm again. We were talking about massages and getting rid of the stress that's physically held into your muscles. But did you know that simply hearing your mother's voice, even in a phone call, is as good as a hug and can provide instant stress relief? I'm just going to put that out there. Now, I know not everyone can pick up the phone and call their mom or see them. So maybe there's something that can help you get a little bit of a break. Maybe there's someone in your life that God has placed to help you get a little instant stress relief. We'd love to know what calms you down. But the whole mother's voice thing, it makes sense. Babies in the mom's womb hear their mother's voice. They say that it can reduce the stress by lowering the stress hormone cortisol and increase the love hormone oxytocin, creating a calming social bonding effect, similar to a hug. So I'm going to put that out there. But how else are you getting rid of some of that stress and calming yourself down? You can text in 905-338-1250, and let's talk about it. What calms you down? It has become a thing, not just in Sweden, but across North America. It is called the Swedish death cleaning, which sounds a little morbid, but essentially it's just decluttering. It's a method historically practiced, as I mentioned, in Sweden. And it is a simple living practice. It encourages people to get rid of their belongings before they pass on. And then that spares their loved ones from having to manage that part of the estate. My grandmother did this, not knowing that it was a thing, but it was actually a really beautiful process. She was going into a seniors facility, and so she was downsizing. So it kind of just happened naturally. There was vases she didn't want anymore, her china teacups. There was special ones that she wanted each of the granddaughters to have, and it was just nice to be able to get that from her while she was still here. And so a lot of the stuff that she had donated, given away, all before she passed. And when she passed, it just allowed us to grieve in a different kind of way. It wasn't as overwhelming because we didn't have to deal with all of that stuff. So, Swedish death cleaning. Is this something that you have had experience with? I mean, for me, it's just fall or spring cleaning. It's not really a Swedish death cleanse, but I'm curious to know, how have you gone through that process of being able to, release things, give things away, purge? I'm hearing a lot more about coding and coding classes, being a coding ninja for the next generation. But is it all that? I'm Hollie Taylor here for Joy Radio, and I also want to give another perception of coding. It's great to do. Kids have to use computers. But apparently, music is better. Fun fact. So for kids to learn an instrument, to learn to play the piano, it actually helps kids in their developmental process. MIT says this, not me. So yes, the trend to code and get our kids up to snuff on all of those things, computer related, sure. But music combines creativity, pattern recognition, emotional expression. It can create a richer, more versatile mental environment. And so thus it helps children perform stronger academically, improve verbal abilities, and emotional regulation, all from music. So this is just another reason why we need to make sure we have music in schools. It's not just about a course that's an art that maybe we don't need. We need it. It's a great foundation for so much more. I'm Hollie Taylor, and if I got oil of oregano, I'll never be sick a day in my life, apparently, according to, I'm not going to say new research. How about this? high school freshmen's research. Yeah, it was a simple science fair project just to see if oregano oil can outperform antibiotic amoxicillin, which, by the way, do you remember the banana amoxicillin? Oh, that was my favorite medicine growing up. But here was the findings of this student that absolutely just a single drop of oregano oil could eliminate 100% of the bacteria samples that they were testing. That's pretty impressive. So every time your grandparent or an auntie said, oh, you're feeling under the weather, take oil of oregano, they were absolutely onto something. So there you go. If you're feeling a little under the weather, because let's face it, 'tis the season, time to go to the health food store and get that oil of oregano. It's Hollie Taylor and funny feel-good story? Sure. It was a class project where kindergartners were supposed to give pep talks. So can you imagine a kindergarten kid, age 5, age 6, giving an adult some words of encouragement? Not all of the encouragement, was encouraging. I think one of them says, "You're old." Thanks, child. Thanks. But yeah, down in the States, there is a kindergarten and they do have a number. It's a 707 number, so it's going to cost you. So don't necessarily call, but I'm pretty sure that there was something that happens at Christmas time where people can call a toll-free number and get some words of encouragement, a little pep talk. But I love it. Encouraging kindergartners to give words of encouragement. A school project also, I think on some levels, can help encourage empathy, which is a very important thing. So can you imagine this cute little kindergarten voice giving you a word of encouragement? It's Hollie Taylor and a feel-good story for you that's a bit of a tearjerker, as this one goes back quite a few years, 24. You might be thinking 24 years ago, September. Yeah, you know where I'm going. September 11th. 24 years ago, an incredibly tragic day. And Javon was only 6. He got the tragic news that his mother, Cece, had been killed in one of those tragic plane crashes. Her flight was hijacked, and she was a flight attendant aboard United Flight 93. This was the one that crashed in Pennsylvania. Its potential target, Washington, D.C. She called her husband while everything was going on and said, "We are going to try to fight back." Phone got hung up, and that's what they did. A heroic story, but a tragic ending. Well, we're going to fast forward now, 24 years. Little Javon, not so little anymore. He's 30, and he's a 3-month-old son. And just in that month, his mom had been so proud of him. He had finished his very first book when he was in kindergarten. She wrote a beautiful little letter to his kindergarten teacher, and she kept it for 24 years. She tried to track him down with the help of the local media. She was able to do so. And Javon was able to read the words his mother wrote right before she passed away. The note oozed with pride for her young boy, and she was so excited to walk with him as he continued this journey of learning. Did Javon get a little verklempt reading this? Absolutely. It was a beautiful moment between him, his kindergarten teacher, and the reporter who was able to track him down. Now, the letter his mom wrote 24 years ago before she passed is in his possession, thanks to that teacher who held on to it, knowing that one day this letter would mean so much to Javon. And yes, it absolutely did. He said, "This sounds like something she would have written." And knowing that she was proud of him then, he continues to try to make her proud of him now. Well, my friends, have a great rest of your day today. Have a great weekend. It's here finally, and we will see you on Monday here on Good Company. Well, that's a wrap. Those are our favorite memories from this past week. Join me for more Good Company live every weekday from 4:30 till 6 p.m. here on Joy Radio. Oh, and don't forget, you can also catch up by subscribing to our Joy Radio podcast. If you'd like to join in on the conversation, text 905-338-1250. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on Monday.